Today we're going to dig out the polymer clay and make a whole bunch of little miniature pumpkins so the dolls can have a collection of decorative pumpkins to display for fall. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. All right, the first step in creating our pumpkin collection, basically is what we're doing here, is I went and gathered up various colors of polymer clay that I felt were fall colors. They were the colors that make me think fall, make me think this time of year, and they're kind of reminiscent of the colors of the ceramic pumpkins that I've got. Now, will I use all of these? Maybe not. Probably not, in fact. White and black, I may or may not use either of those alone. Some of these I will mix. I'll probably marble some of them together. I'm going to decide what colors I'm using as I go along. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to turn the camera off, and I'm going to condition the clay. That's always our first step in any polymer clay project, is getting the clay conditioned, which means ready to work with. So I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm going to condition the clay. If you have any questions about conditioning the clay, I will link, I'll try to remember to put up in this right now at the top corner of the screen, an iCard to lead you to the Polymer Clay 101 series, where I talk about all the different steps of working with polymer clay. So once I have all of these conditioned and ready to work with, I will come back and we can start playing and making pumpkins. All right, all the clay is conditioned, and I'm going to make some of these on camera and some off camera because I want to make several. I'm going to show you the basic techniques, and I'm going to do my best to have this under camera, but it's hard because, as you know, we're working with very small pieces of clay, and my fingers are bigger than what we're working on. And I am notorious for being off camera anyway, even on bigger projects. So I've started out with a piece of conditioned clay. I'm going to make it a ball. It's about a 3/8 of an inch ball, approximately. We don't have to, this isn't rocket science. We don't have to be precise. We're not replicating an object that is set in stone, how big it is. So I'm kind of pushing it down on my tray. I'm working on a ceramic tile like I always do. I've got a dotting tool with a kind of big ball on it. And I'm going to make a dent. It's not a hole, it's a dent. That is doing two things. It's giving me my center where I'll put my stem. It's also flattening the bottom so this won't roll away. And it's giving me a place to make my marks, to make my little segment lines. So I've got my pointy tool. This is a dental pick that I picked up at Dollar Tree. Oh, probably, I don't know, you guys tell me, 10 years ago? I know I've had, it wasn't the first one I had when I first started the channel, but I've had it for a long time. And you don't have to put the same number in on every pumpkin. We're going to make a couple of different shapes of pumpkins, and I'm going to do, I hope, one that has some kind of cool colors. All right, so I've got my segments. And I'm going to take some more of that same clay and make a little tiny ball, just a really tiny one, and make it kind of teardrop shaped. And then trying to keep my fingers so that you can see and keep my head out of the screen. Put that on and poke it on. Because we are going raw clay to raw clay, we don't need to use any liquid clay on this. I'm taking kind of a medium-sized dotting tool and kind of helping to work that in. You can add lines if you want to on it. This one I'm going to kind of make textured. And that's really all there is to it. To move it, don't use your fingers, use your blade. Run under it, lift it up, and slide it off. Those will all go onto a paper plate when we get done. Let me get set up for the next one. All right, now we're going to make a taller, skinnier pumpkin. I'm starting out with the same size ball. It's a 3/8 inch ball, and I'm going to roll it kind of between my fingers and make more of an oval bead shape. Stand that up and kind of press it down on the tile. It's basically the same steps over and over with each pumpkin. Push in the top, and then if it tries to flatten out more than you want it to, use your fingers, reshape it until you get just the shape you want. I want this one to be taller and thinner. And once again, take our pointy tool and make those segments. You can make the segments deeper on some and more shallow on others so that some of them show up more. There are so many variations on these, but they're all basically the same thing. They're variations of these same steps, just different shapes. All right, I'm going to do that one, just that many lines. I'm trying to make each pumpkin I make different shape and a little bit different look. And then again, kind of a teardroppy shape. This one I'll do a little bit thinner. Put it in there. You can put it in straight up and down. You can put it curved. You can do whatever you want with your pumpkin. All right, I'm going to turn the camera off and get the clay ready for another shape. All right, for this one, I've got this pretty orange, and I have a 1/4 inch ball. So this one is smaller, but what we're going to do is we're going to smush it down to where it's almost the 3/8 of an inch in diameter. So it's very flat. And I know it's hard to see. There are photos. I'll have photos on the blog post, so hop over there to see some pictures of each step. They may look slightly different than what we're doing on camera because I'm doing a separate one and doing pictures as I go. And again, we are going to do these cuts. And I find that in the ceramic pumpkins that I see that are really flat, the little segment lines are deeper usually. But you can do whatever you want. And this one I'm going to put a lot in. The one I did for the photos, I put in less. And then once again, a very tiny, tiny little teardrop-ish round shape. And this one is much bigger, but that's okay. All right, I am going to put this away. I am going to make one on camera, one off camera that's kind of a fun color and a little bit bigger, and then we'll be done. So let me get this put away and get set up for the next one. All right, now we're going to make kind of more of a centerpiece pumpkin. It's going to be bigger than the other pumpkins in the collection, and it's going to be marbled because I love playing with clay and making marble. So I'm going to start with a white, and this is going to go at the center. Some of this will show, not a lot. I've got kind of a dark red, I've got kind of a plummy color, I've got an orange, and then I've also got a yellow, and this really pretty red that I thought I was going to use to make a pumpkin until I went to condition it and realized it's a glitter color, and I didn't really want a whole pumpkin made of glitter. So now we're going to roll these in our hands. There's several ways of making marble, and I've showed you a lot of ways on the channel. I'm going to cut off the end where that yellow is flopping. I just want just a little bit of marbling. I don't want to mix these colors together. I want them to each show up. So it's a matter of lengthening and twisting and folding. And you can see a little bit of glitter every once in a while. You can marble this as much or as little as you want. Maybe you want it to look like that. Maybe that's how you want yours to look. Maybe you want to go further than I do. It's all up to you. These are your collection. And remember, we're not even trying to make this look like real marble. We're trying to make it look like it is ceramic painted into marble. So I think I'm happy with this. I am going to cut off just a little bit that I'm going to turn into a stem in a little bit. I'm going to make a ball. This one's going to be bigger. I'm betting this is over a 1/2 inch by a bit. There's a 1/2 inch. Let's see. Do I have my ruler? The one I did on the blog post was a 1/2 inch. This one is almost 3/4 of an inch, but I did want to make one pumpkin that was pretty big. Let's see, which part do I like the least? I think I like that little circle the least, so that's going to go on the bottom. And it's the same steps. make a divot in the top, and this one you're going to have to work your tool around a bit. You might even want to use something like a big paintbrush handle. And again, we are making our lines, our segment lines. You can make as many or as few as you want. And you could do other things. You could do, you know, maybe you've got a texturing, some kind of a texturing tool that you want to use to make a texture on your pumpkin instead of making it marble. Now I'm going to take this. This is a very busy stem, and I may decide to paint the stem with gold paint. I haven't. It depends on how well I like the stem when I get this baked off. Or I could choose to use one of the colors of clay I used for the pumpkin. All right, now I'm going to move all of these onto a paper plate. And I'll show you the ones I've made both on and off camera. So this one is big enough I can pick it up. So we've got this one. Really busy looking, but it will be fun. I have this one that I made off camera. It is also marbled. Oops, make sure I'm under camera. I have this little flat one. Oops, come on camera. There you go. Little flat one. I have this one that's more subtle lines and a taller, skinnier one. I have this guy. I have this one. Now remember, keep in mind I did some of these on camera, some off camera. Some as practice, some to do photos with. Whoops, just not drop. Let's not drop it and ruin it. I love the color of this one. And I've got a couple of little tiny ones I made. All right, I am going to go bake these. Since I have this big one, it's going to take longer. Actually, I might, before I put these in the oven, I will probably move these two onto a separate paper plate so I can pull these out after about probably 20-25 minutes. And this one, these two I'm going to leave in for probably about 45. I want to make sure that this gets baked all the way through, because if clay is not cured all the way through, it can cause problems later. It can become crumbly and have all kinds of issues. So once these are baked and then cooled back to room temperature, we'll go on to our next step. All right, here are our clay pumpkins that have baked and cooled. And I love them. They came out really cool. And we've got the ones, the plastic ones, that I made over on the Wednesday video. I will link this video at the end of this video. But this one I painted with this gold acrylic paint, because I knew that I was going to make these, and I wanted to do some of the stems, not all of them, but a few of them. I want to paint the stems with gold paint, because I have a bunch of ceramic pumpkins. I kind of ended up with a ceramic pumpkin collection over the last couple of years. Not intentionally, it just happened. So I'm going to paint this biggest one on camera, and then I'm going to do the rest of them that I decided to do off camera. And then when this paint dries, we can go on to the next step. But it's just simply a matter of painting that stem. All right, and that's all there is to that. So now that pumpkin has this cute gold stem. And you can do other details if you wanted to. So I'm going to paint a couple of stems, let the paint dry, and then I'll be back. All right, the paint is completely dried, and I've now got these down on a piece of tape, this sticky side up there. I've got some wax paper underneath. And I was going to use some gloss, but I decided I'm going to use satin finished Mod Podge just because it's less apt to have problems later, and I can just do all of them at once. Besides that, my gloss is getting a little bit low. So what I'm going to do is take a nice soft brush and do thin, even coats of satin Mod Podge on top of my polymer clay. And when this coat is dry, I'll see how they look and decide if I want to put more on or if they're ready to go. And as soon as they're ready, we'll take a look at these all together with the plastic ones we repainted the other day and see what our collection of pumpkins looks like. So I'll see you when these dry. All right, our Mod Podge has dried and I am in love with our little mini pumpkin collection. I think it is adorable. But let's talk a little bit about how these can be used, and I will have some photos. I'll try to remember to insert a photo in the video of some of these ideas and also of these so you can see them better. But I mean, the doll family could do much like I do in real life with my real collection, is just put them out. If you have some little mini leaves, which I thought I did, and I looked all over and couldn't find them. And I've got the plastic ones we made the other day. You could put some little mini leaves in here. You could put them in the center of the dining room table or on a little side table. It's just a fun little fall decoration. Add them to some of our fall decorations we made last year. And the dolls have a wonderful little collection. Let me stop filming here for just a second so I can insert a picture of what this looks like. And then over on the blog, there'll be more pictures. I'll be right back. All right, so that picture was of them just as they are now. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure and hop over to the blog post so you can see some more photos. And I've got more, hopefully I'll have more ideas, more hints and tips over there. It's been a hectic week, so the blog post may be a little shorter than normal. If you have any comments or suggestions of things you'd like me to make in future videos, be sure and leave a comment down below and tell me what you want to see made. If you like the video, hit the like button. Share it with your friends. If you know somebody that makes miniatures, make sure they know about the channel. If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed, be sure and hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.